just speak famous, not be famous. Just speak like Mikel in his last press conference, because you know what he said is he was asked about Leno and Ramsdale, and said new players are coming in and they're taking and they're taking the places and positions of old players. So there's a bit of competition. I don't know if the competition is healthy, but as far as I know, Leno is not taking it calm. Let's speak about this story. Leno has actually come out and said that he has not been given clear reasons why he was dropped from the Arsenal squad, from the Arsenal 11, actually, not squad, but from the Arsenal 11, right? And this is what I did have a story on that. It is goal.com. Is it Charles Watts? Let's see. No, it's James Westwood that has written the story, but it's goal, and we can trust goal. So let's go. Let me read you. Let me give you a rate. So Arteta has not given me any clear reasons. Leno admits he could seek January transfer after losing Arsenal spot Ramsdale. Now we have to agree on one thing. Change is a must, isn't it? Change is a must, and not all players, with, in every institution, in every organization, there's got to be change, right? It could come arbitrarily, it could come announced, it could be organized. Change is gonna come at some point in time, because that's the way it is. That's the way the world runs. Change comes in, but not all of us take change in a good way, right? So for me, it just seems like Leno knows the reason as to why he was dropped, but he doesn't want to accept it. But he just doesn't want to accept the fact that I was dropped, right? Because the performances were not as good as the performances with Ramsdale, and that's enough to for the fans to say Rambo in, Leno out. I love you, Leno, and I love Leno so much, but at the moment I can't be on his side. Ramsdale, as a person who wants Arsenal to do better, I've got to support the agenda that is giving us points, and that is the agenda that Leno drops and Ramsdale goes into goal. Right, so this is what he said. The German goalkeeper has opened up on his frustration over lack of regular minutes at the start of the 2021-2022 campaign. Ben Leno has admitted that he could seek a January transfer window after losing his spot to as Arsenal number one to Aaron Ramsdale, while claiming Mikel Arteta has given him no clear reason for his decision. Arsenal spent a staggering $32 million, which is 24 million pounds, to bring in Aaron Ramsdale to the Emirates Stadium from Sheffield United in August, as Arteta sought to add greater depth to his goalkeeping ranks. The 23-year-old hasn't been content to accept backup role, quickly forcing his way into the Ghana's manager's starting 11 ahead of Leno, who is now considering his future in North London. Right. So before we go into what has been said, let me make this clear, guys. Let me make this absolutely clear. If you are, just imagine if you are a striker like Timo Werner, and then your club signs a 100 million striker, what do you expect? Because for me, a 32 million goalkeeper who plays in the championship, that value can as well be, it can as well be equivalent to 70 million. It could be it can be as well be equivalent to, 80 million, because you're looking at a 23-year-old goalkeeper relegated twice, and Arsenal is paying 32 million. We have a right back. The right back is 18 million, right? And our playmaker, our attacking midfielder, costs almost the same money as our backup goalkeeper. It wouldn't make sense. And we said it in the transfer window that the moment Arsenal sign in a backup goalkeeper that is worth 32 million, it is getting fishy. It's about to go down. It's getting fishy. And we have the fish in the pot now, isn't it? So Leno, this is what Leno saying. He is considering leaving the club. He is considering going away from Arsenal Football Club because he feels They're not giving him the time. They're not giving him, the game time he deserves or he wants as a player. So this is what has been said. The German shortstopper says that he is in the dark as to why he is no longer first choice and is growing more frustrated. There was no reason why I was out, but it had nothing to do with my performance, Leno told Sport Bild. He is the trainer, he decides. Of course, it is difficult for me. Italian champions Inter are reportedly keeping a very close eye on the 29-year-old situation, and he concedes a switch to the Serie A might appeal so he can be closer to his family. Right. Leno is determined to turn his fortunes at Arsenal around, but has warned that he will have to assess his options if nothing has changed by the time the January transfer window comes. London is very nice. Milan is not bad either, and closer to my home, Stuttgart. Right. He added, I'm not seriously thinking about that yet. I feel comfortable at Arsenal in London. Only if nothing changes in my situation by winter would I have to think about things. What option do I have? How can I continue? I'm concentrating on my work in training. I can't commit to anything else at the moment. Wow, a little bit professional there. A little bit professional there. I love the professionalism. I'm not really a big professional, especially when it comes to representing myself, but I think he represents himself very well. Look, let's be honest. At the moment, Arsenal has two good goalkeepers. This is hard to say, right? This is very, very hard to say. But at the moment, Arsenal has two very good goalkeepers. We can't do away with the fact because we are fucking rich now, right? We're fucking rich. Cranky gave us some 142 million, and we use some of that to buy an expensive goalkeeper. So we have two good goalkeepers. But how is Manchester United managing to have two goalkeepers, one backing the other? How are they doing it? How is Chelsea doing it? Kepa and Mendy, because we've got to, we've got to borrow a leaf. We've got to, we've got to pluck a page out of their book. We can't, whenever we have two good goalkeepers, we can't keep losing one. It's absolutely, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? So, at the end of the day, people, we've got to think about it. Mikel and the team, they've got to think about it. How do we keep both goalkeepers? Is Leno really going to play as backup? No. Can Ramsdale be backup? Yes, he can. Do we want Ramsdale to be dropped? No, we do not. I think that it goes back to the manager. It goes back to the manager. You let Leno go, and then finding a better goalkeeper to back up. Because Runason is shit, and Arthur Okonkwo for me is non-ready. Not shit, but non-ready. The likes of Carl Hayne, I just feel like they are non-ready, right? They are non-ready. Yes, you might just feel like these young players coming from the academy, growing together and things like that. But you need a serious backup goalkeeper, a serious one. So that's a big question with Leno. My question is, do you think Leno wants out? I don't think he wants out. He wants to be number one at Arsenal, right? And he's just looking at his position being threatened. It's like your man, you're the main boyfriend. Then this is a really ridiculous example. But if you're the main boyfriend, or if you take yourself as the main boyfriend, and then you get the news that you're now the second guy without no explanations, it's got to be hard for you. And I know it's very, very hard for Leno, right? It's very, very hard. It's very hard for Leno, to be number one, and then eventually you drop. But I don't know what your thoughts are already clear. You guys are not on Leno's side, so I don't even want to play the hypocritical game. I don't want you guys to play with the hypocritical game with me. I know where your thoughts are. I know where I don't know. I know the side on which you are. And I really know, right? Arsenal is getting better day by day because fans are reconnecting with the players, and players gaining confidence and momentum. They just need to be more clinical and consistent. Period. Absolutely. And it would, and Navi says, and it would have been wise to bring in House Moa and let ESR to play in the left than bring in Marco. Yeah, I would agree to that. Dan Duke UG says thanks for the update. Wow, that's really a good comment. Thanks for appreciating. Leno should accept competition. He had his time and didn't take it seriously. Well, I think I don't know what happened to Leno from last season. He just became a bad goalkeeper. It's even hard for me to say because I'm one of those people who are happiest when we signed in Leno. I was so happy. I was absolutely very, very happy. I just don't know how it came to this. I just can't explain how it came to that. Leno now Leno has become second choice to a 23-year goalkeeper from relegation, who is good, by the way. He's really, really good. And I told you in the transfer window that he was going to be good. So, look, I think, Regan, you make a very good point. Maybe he should fight for his place, but he's looking at himself. He's 29. What if he never? What if Ramsdale becomes so good? It's like at the moment, if you're fighting with Benjamin, Chelsea, Ederson, Manchester City, David De Gea, Manchester United, and Alisson, Liverpool, or even Pickford. It's gonna be hard. It's absolutely gonna be hard for you, right? Yes, Leno is still very important. The situation needs handling carefully. You're right, right? Inter are looking for Leno instead of Onana by Romano, and I think if you want to bring in Onana, if you bring in Onana, you're actually creating the same kind of problem that we are running away from by letting Leno go. Because if Onana comes in, he's going to ask for fast-chase football. We know that. There's no question about that. He's going to ask for fast-chase football. Do you want to drop Ramsdale for Onana? Maybe yes, maybe no. But I know Inter have always wanted Andre Onana. Man, I don't like Marco. He's failed talent. Bro, that guy has failed to prove himself. To prove himself a standard player. We're having Martinelli seated on the bench. We don't need Marco. And I would agree with you. I would absolutely agree with you. I think Arsenal do need to get in. I think we need to give Martinelli more time because we might lose that lad. I'm telling you for facts now. We might lose that lad, and I don't want it to happen. I absolutely don't want even to think about it. I don't want us to lose Gabi Martinelli, right? I don't want us to lose Gabi Martinelli. What else had I to say? Xhaka, Asensio, Leno, right? And then Mikel Arteta. I wanted to speak about Mikel. I want to speak about Mikel, and it will be the last topic. For me, I believe Leno is a good goalkeeper than Ramsdale, but he has only lost his form, has just dropped it like it was in the place of the game. I cannot disagree with you. I absolutely can't disagree with you. Link is in the comment section if you want to give me your thoughts, though. But I can't disagree with you. I really can't disagree with you. I can't. And the reason that's why I can't disagree with you is we know what Leno is capable of, and we know that he can be a good goalkeeper at a top level. So I will never agree with people who continue saying Leno is shit, Leno what. I will never agree with them. I will never agree with you. I know Leno is a good goalkeeper. I know he's lost his form. I don't know if he's had anything that we do not know behind the scenes, but he is a top goalkeeper. And if he goes to Inter, Winter can't go to Winter. Sorry, if he goes to Inter, in winter, they can win the league. They can. Wherever he is, he cannot be a goalkeeper who stands in your way as a club to achieve your goals. He can actually be a big facilitator. He can. He can be a big facilitator. And I would love that to happen. And I would love to see that happen. Let's get into Mikel Arteta, the big man. Guys, Arteta out, Arteta in. All of you are on this channel. Let's stop this crap. I'm just tired of it. Arteta in, Arteta out. I'm just tired of it now. I'm just tired of it. Because all we want, what Arsenal fans, all of us want, we do not want a manager sacked. We do not want players out. We want Arsenal at the top. That is what we want. We've got to agree. So I'm officially announcing that I'm out of the Arteta in, Arteta out shit. I'm absolutely out of it. I don't I don't believe he's the manager that takes us to win trophies. I don't think he's the manager that leads us to glory. But again, I don't think you know just always saying Arteta in, Arteta out, Arteta out, Arteta in makes any sense. I don't think it takes us anywhere as a club. I don't think it does. So, to be honest, we've got to end that shit. We've got to end it. I think for me, what would be better though, right? What would be better is if we now focus on how do we get Arsenal better. I think because we are getting better if we can stay consistent. Someone talked about it in the chat. So let's speak about Mikel. Mikel Arteta was under immense pressure coming into the last 4 games in his on his calendar, and after those 4 games, the lad has been nominated among the managers of the month last month, October. Is it October or September? Where are we? I think we are in October, and he's been nominated as manager of the month. Manager of the month, September. And I'm gonna say this. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad that an Arsenal manager is nominated among the best. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad that an Arsenal manager has turned things around. Because at the end of the day, it is Arsenal that has got the respect. At the end of the day, it is I, a fan, that fans are not picking on me anymore. Because they are not picking on me. And I love that. And that is what I absolutely love, as a football fan. I want my club to be at the top. And whenever we are, I'm absolutely, grateful. So, Arteta, what do people think about Mikel? He's turned things around. We know that. 3 games without a win, conceding 9 goals at the start of the season. And then the next 3 games, the lad has, how many has he scored? 5. Yes, he scored 5 and conceded 1 and collected 9 out of 9 points. So Mikel maybe deserves some big credit. He deserves the credit. And look, if he wins manager of the month, I'm absolutely happy for him. I'm absolutely happy for him, right? Because he's been working under pressure. He's been working under pressure, and he's been working with a group of new players. Some of them, the likes of Tomiyasu, the likes of Ramsdale, the likes of Ben White, have never played for a big team, and they even don't know what it means to play for a big team like Arsenal. With all due respect, right? So I'm just happy the way Mikel has turned things around, and I just pray, can he stay on the same road, right? Can he? You don't expect him to win all the games that are remaining. So all the time he loses, it shouldn't be Conte in, Arteta out. For me, at the moment, he's not yet proved to me anything, not anything. But what I love is that he's learned from his mistakes. Get an 11 that is consistent. If he can do that, because for the last 3 games, he has a consistent 11, right? He has a consistent 10, he has a consistent 9. 9 out of 10 players, or 9 out of 11 players playing every game. That is what you want, right? You want a manager that can pick a team. You want a manager that can pick an 11. And I think we have, in Mikel, we are starting to get ourselves a manager that can pick an 11. As simple as that. Wanted that last season, and I'm getting it this season. The other thing I will credit him for is the way he has handled the dressing room. There's been a lot of frustration in the Arsenal side. There's been a lot of frustration. You could see it in the players' veins, on their faces. They were disinterested. They were frustrated. But he's turned things around. What are your thoughts on Mikel? I'd love to give you, guys, the voice. How are you doing, Quincy?
Yes, I'm doing good. I wanted to talk about the Ramsdale Leno situation and about the transfers of Bissouma and the Juventus central midfield and Arsenal possibly bringing in Martial. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there are rumors that Arsenal can sign Martial from Man United for 40 million. But and I'll talk about the Martinez. But I want to first talk about Arteta being nominated for Manager of the Month. I think that it's unfair to compare Arteta to Guardiola and Klopp, and because they have at least 10, 15 years of managerial experience. But you can compare to him to other coaches, like maybe someone like Solskjaer. Because Solskjaer has coached another team, but this is the first time he's coached a big team. So I think it'd be fair to compare him to Solskjaer. And I think Arteta has proven to be a better manager and coach than Solskjaer. I think if you look at recently, the reason why Arsenal's results has turned around because recently there was a Arteta did a meeting last. I think when Arsenal lost 3 games in a row, there was a meeting at the Hill where Arsenal trained, the training ground. There was a big meeting in which the managers and the coaches asked the players to give their opinion as to what's going wrong in the team. And ever since the players were allowed to express themselves and say, you know what, manager, this maybe this tactics is this way, or maybe manager, we don't like the food, or ever since the players been allowed to express themselves as to what they think is wrong with the team or what's wrong with why they're not winning results, boom, Arsenal have gone on a run and are winning games after game. That shows how good of a manager Arteta is, because football is not about just the playing, it's about the man management of the players as well. Ever since he's allowed the players to express themselves to say what they think is wrong with the team, they have been performing. He's managed to get into the players' hearts and minds, and now they want to win for him and the club. That shows how good a manager he's turned it around. And I think that I don't know how old Arteta. I think Arteta is 38, 39 years old. I'm not too sure. But you've muted your mic. Yeah, Arteta's
Around
38, 30,
39, yeah, around
yeah.
39, still very, very young.
And I think a manager that is very, very young for a manager. I think Arteta so far, I think I'm beginning to feel we should keep him on to let him imprint his DNA into the team. Because changing managers can sometimes upset the balance. Sometimes the Wales of Chelsea, they changed managers twice and went on to win the Champions League on those 2 occasions. So sometimes it works, sometimes it don't work. But for Arsenal, I think maybe we need to give Arteta a run. We need to give him money to spend in January again. And I think how Arteta's man managed the Lacazette and Aubameyang situation was spot on. Aubameyang at Lacazette chose not to perform anymore, and one of them's being on the bench and going to be sold. This will serve as a lesson to the players. Bellerin is gone. He wasn't performing. He was, passing the ball to a position we saw with Tammy Abraham when Tammy Abraham scored. His actual man management is actually a lot better than we think it is, especially from an inexperienced manager. And tactically, I'm seeing improvements from us, especially in the last 3-4 games. Let's include the League Cup games against, I think, West Brom and the other small team we've played that are not in the Premier League. We've actually seen Arteta tactically getting it right. And I think we should let him stay on and imprint his DNA into the Arsenal team, his style of play, how he wants us to play, how he wants us to win games, and allow him to develop. Because this is a very young team. Most of the Arsenal players are under 23. Like 80% of them are 23 or under. This is a very, very young team. This Arsenal team, if you take Aubameyang Partey out, can play for. If you take Aubameyang Partey out, the rest of the team, including the bench, they can play for the Arsenal under 23 team because they're within that age bracket. We don't realize how young this team is and how young the manager is himself. So this just shows that if they can get this group of players to play together for 2-3 seasons, this Arsenal team, if they keep improving, we are in for a team that's going to be challenging for top four, which is the minimum that we want. Challenging for top and finishing at least in the top four and getting Champions League football and playing amongst the European elites is what Arsenal play a team want. That's at least that should be the foundation, and then on to winning big trophies. Arteta, I'm not Arteta. I was Arteta out, but now I think we should give him a chance. He's turned it around. He's proven that he's got very good, brilliant man management. He sat down with the players to ask them what was wrong, and ever since the players expressed themselves, we've been winning. And in case of the Leno, I think Leno needs to go. I think the first game against Brighton, I think Leno, there was a set piece. I don't know if it was a throw in or that Brighton scored from, or like a long ball in the box. But Leno was at fault for the goal. I don't know if it was a corner kick, but Leno was at fault for the goal. He allowed the Brighton players to get in front of him. And as a goalkeeper, so you can use your hands on other players. You're a goalkeeper. And he didn't do that. He didn't use his arm. He didn't use his physicality. As a goalkeeper, you're also supposed to organize the back four in the defense. So if a player standing in front of you in a set piece, you're supposed to tell the players in front of you, maybe one Ben White or they. I know they weren't playing, but one of the defenders to get the player out of there. He, as a goalkeeper, you're supposed to shout and organize. I like goalkeepers who shout and command their defenders. And I'm beginning to see Ramsdale do that, especially when we played our last game against Tottenham and Tomiyasu made a clearance and he was like shouting, bursting. You need your goalkeeper to have that fire in to tell the defenders how to organize themselves, where to stand, in set pieces, free kicks. And Leno wasn't doing none of that. I'm seeing Ramsdale doing that. Also, Ramsdale, I see that this is his only ever opportunity he's going to have at a big club. So he's taking this opportunity to make sure he nails down this place in Arsenal. So he's going to make sure that goalkeeping spot is his. And I think that in January, like I said, you said earlier, if we don't play Martinelli will be good. I think Martinelli will get his time. I think in January, Xhaka will go to Juventus. I can see it happening. And I can see Smith Rowe pushing into Xhaka's position and Martinelli being put in where Smith Rowe is playing on the left wing, simply because Pepe, he's a hit and miss. I think Martinelli and Saka are better than him now.
Yeah, there's there is that kind of frustration with Nicola Pepe, and it's just growing. It's just growing every season. Fans expect him to blossom, and then it becomes the dead flower every season. It's kind of frustrating. But my question with Leno is, one is, aren't we very excited about Ramsdale? Aren't we very excited? Because we know that Leno had a very, very good season last season, but one, and he was nominated among the best, the best players at the club, among the best three, with Saka and Aubameyang. And that was a very, very great season. And that's the season in which we decided that Leno stays and Emi Martinez goes. And we back in the same situation. If we let Leno go, right? If we let Leno go, and then Ramsdale loses form or backslides, where do we go from there?
I think that is a very, very important situation. We obviously regret letting Martinez go. We saw what Martinez did to Ronaldo and Manchester United on the weekend, teasing Ronaldo to take the penalty, and Bruno skying it, fire in the sky, and Martinez dancing. That is exactly the goalkeeper we needed. He's world class now, but we regret letting him go. Now with Ramsdale, I think the problem with Arsenal and the lack of players performing at the top level was mainly because of Ozil influencing the other players. Ozil didn't give a damn, and they rubbed onto the other players, Aubameyang, Lacazette, David Luiz, Mustafi, Kolasinac. Remember, Kolasinac and Mustafi were very close to Ozil. So Ozil's lack of effort and I don't care attitude rub off on those players are no longer there. 6 or 7 of them who were playing like they don't care are no longer there. So even if Lennon leaves, Ramsdale don't have the people to influence and not to give him the plus. You have to remember, this is Ramsdale's only chance at the top. He will not want to, play with it like Leno did. You feel me? Leno may play for another top team. He may go to Italy, Serie A, I don't know. But Ramsdale know that if he plays around, Arsenal will sell him. Arsenal are willing to sell and bring in another goal. He will not be playing around. I think he's good enough. But you can see how serious he takes this, because when he got signed, Arsenal players, fans were abusing him. So there's doubts. That is why you're seeing him perform at the top level. The pressure, being at Arsenal is there. And I think Ramsdale has the right attitude. Even his brother on Twitter said, his brother Ramsdale wants to perform at the top of Arsenal. I think in January it will be the key here. We need to bring in, either Bissouma. I saw Bissouma in the title. We need to bring in Bissouma. We need to sign a striker. Arsenal are looking to sign either Martial for 40 million for Manchester United or Sevilla striker. I think we should. Martial is only 25, 26, right?
Nah,
And I
but for
think
me,
maybe
look, Quincy. For me, Martial, the reason that's why Martial has failed to, um, you know, the reason that's why he's failed at Manchester United because he's definitely failed there. He is a good footballer, and I can never take that away from him. He's a good footballer. When you watch him, when you look at him, you know there is some kind of good football there. You know there is a good footballer in there. There is some magic in him, but he's failed to put that on pitch. He's failed to put that on pitch. And I think he's the kind of striker Arsenal need. You need someone that just allows your midfielders to play. You need someone that just allows your midfielders to be active. You need someone who bangs in goals. For me, it's not Martial. It's absolutely not Martial.
no, wait. Martial's not a striker though. He can play striker or the other wing, the left wing or right wing. If he comes to Arsenal, um we easily put him where Emil Smith Rowe is playing on the left wing. He's right footed on the left wing. And I think he'll be a lot more potent than Pepe. He's definitely better than Pepe. He'll be a lot more direct than Pepe. And I think he will be a great addition. So I think Arsenal looking to sign him, not as striker, but as a winger, is actually a good signing. 25, 26 years old. Maybe Solskjaer is not managing him right. There's a lot of world class players at Manchester United like Pogba who've not reached their potential. Pogba, even Mata at Chelsea, is one of the players that helped Chelsea win the Champions League. At Manchester United, he's been a shadow of himself. So there's obviously something. Solskjaer's obviously not doing his job right somewhere. So these are world class players, and at Arsenal, he may blossom under Arteta. Sanchez blossomed at Arsenal and Manchester United. He didn't. Sometimes the team is not right for you. Sometimes the team that you're at, the manager's tactics doesn't suit your style of play. Sometimes when you're in a certain league, the league is, for example, Serie A is slow. That's why a lot of players go there to retire. It's slow. It's also a very defensive league. Most results are 1-0, 2-1. The Premier League is fast paced. It's for younger footballers, fast paced, lots of energy, lots of tackles. And the La Liga is more of a passing football. A bit like everyone plays at Barcelona pass. You don't see crosses, long balls. So maybe Martial is just in the wrong team, playing under the wrong tactics. That doesn't suit his talent. And maybe Arteta may be able to get the best out of him.
And he could be in the wrong league as well. Because for me, if he goes to Germany, he does well. If he goes to La Liga, Spain, he does well. If he goes to France, where he was with Monaco, he does well. And I think all those leagues have one thing in common: they have slow football, right? They absolutely have slow football. I don't think with Premier League, yes, it's tricky, and I don't think it might be his league. If I'm going to United, I'm going for one player, and that's Donny van de Beek. Do you think he would work for us? Do you think Donny would be the answer? Or Donny or Lingard? Actually, I would go for Lingard and not Anthony Martial.
Lingard is a central midfielder, right? No, I wouldn't go for Lingard because in midfield we have Pate. I know Xhaka is going to be. We have Pate, Lokonga. I think Smith Rowe, Odegaard. And El Nenius. So I know El Nenius is not good now. He needs to be moved on. But in terms of going for Lingard, I don't think Lingard is good enough to get into the Arsenal midfield ahead of Smith Rowe, Odegaard, or Pate. He may be better than Emil Smith Rowe for now, but Emil Smith Rowe has so much potential that if we keep playing, he's going to keep improving. I would prefer we go for Bissouma at Brighton.
Well, you, you
Sign
know,
him.
you know, you know what Lingard gives you? Because Lingard is more like a 10, right? Like a Deli Ali. It would be like a Deli Ali, but I think it's a little bit, more direct and more sharper as a player. And the reason that's why I would go for Lingard. I never liked Lingard, by the way. Not until I watched him on England. It was in the first international break. Then I was like, wow, there is something about this boy. So, what Lingard gives you, squad depth is one of them, but also that ability to tear down defenses, just to tear through them, just like that. I would absolutely take him. Listen, Quincy, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it, brother. Right. That is Quincy, and of course, his thoughts Absolutely, absolutely respected and marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. Because what I think the thing is said that um, interested me most is the fact about Anthony Martial. You know, you might have a manager because Martial was good and Luis Van Gaal, he was, right? But can he be good at Arsenal? I don't know. Would you guys take Anthony Martial? We'll talk about Anthony Martial tomorrow, right? Which player is headed to Juve? Not yet at the moment, but Juve wants Xhaka. They have Locatelli. I don't see that going there. Uh, Henry says, what happened to Wenger attending our matches at least for once since he left Arsenal? I've been seeing Ferguson attending almost all Manchester United games. Now, with Arsene Wenger, by the time he left Arsenal, because let's say this, Wenger and Ferguson have not left these clubs under the same circumstances. Not the same. Arsene Wenger left Arsenal as a manager that had built everything, and they stepped on him. They never gave him the respect he deserved. So Alexander Chapman Ferguson, on the other hand, left Manchester United as a hero, as a manager that was absolutely respected. So I think there were those kind of inner problems, you know, inner problem that Arsene Wenger had. And because he's already spoken about it, that he will only come back at Arsenal if one person leaves. He has never said the person. Arteta winning manager of the month will be good for Arsenal. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely very good, Quincy. And thank you so much for coming on as well. They have decided to give one time. Has been given money, good players, and has stayed longer than uh, but hasn't won even a cup of porridge. But Arteta has already given us two, given us two in 2 seasons. We are very excited about Ramsdale, Ben Tomiyasu, and Sambi at Arsenal. Guys, it's been very interesting. That is the evening Arsenal show, always airing at 9 p.m. Right? Always airing at 9 p.m. So make sure you do check it out. Yeah, I think we should call it a day. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been very, very wonderful. And I promise I'll speak to you very, very soon in the next one.